Team Circle Sport Racing and Premium Motors, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Scott.
How you doing? You guys look like you're having fun. I'll tell you, every year I'm more and more impressed by Auto Club Speedway. You know, traditionally the stops we go to like Talladega, Michigan, Daytona, there's some rowdy partying fans, but you guys are you're making a charge at the top here. I like it.
All right, Brian, so what we normally do here, we try to get you away from all the average questions you get asked on a daily basis that you probably get tired of being asked. So we're going to ask you a couple of questions out here, but let me run down some stats real quick just for you ladies and gents. We've got 8 races run over 3 years in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, 1 pole. 180 races over 7 years in the Xfinity Series, 62 top 10, 5 poles. 62 races over 4 years in the Camping World Truck Series, 2 win, 23 top 10s. Let's make some noise for them out here, guys. Now, we normally ask this of all of our drivers that come through, Brian. We ask if there is a crew ritual, if there's anything that you do in particular to get ready for these races.
I always say a prayer. I'd say that's my pre-race ritual. My wife is with me, and I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old son. They're with me at a lot of races, and before we get in the car, we always say a prayer for protection and the Lord to watch over us.
Congratulations on the son as well. All right. Going down your checklist of goals this year, what is at the very, very top of that? Outside of the obvious, but...
winning. Obviously, I'm only doing select Sprint Cup Series races, so it's to have a good show in there. If we can get top 10s, top 5, that's our goal. It'd be pretty ambitious to win, but of course you always, every time I strap in the car, my goal is to try to win the race. In the Xfinity Series, where I run full-time in the #2 Chevrolet, it's to win races and win the championship. We finished tied for 3rd in the points last year. I've been a bridesmaid a handful of times in the Xfinity Series. I finished 2nd a bunch. I've yet to break through and win. Obviously been really close, and that's a huge check mark, and that's a huge thing on my goals list to accomplish.
Well, in your pursuit to improve your standing in NASCAR, we realize it is a constant, demanding process. What do you actually do when you get a break from it for enjoyment, just for fun, just take a load off?
Well, there's some great places to travel and relax. I love going on vacation. I love trying to go to neat places I've never been, go to the beach, anywhere where you can just kind of unwind, relax. The mountains, I go hunting, I go fishing. Love to spend time with my family, so all of those type of things.
You ever get to Colorado?
I was born and raised in Idaho, so I've been to Colorado a number of times. Actually, my 2 options, my 2 career choices out of high school. I graduated high school in 2006. I was either going to go to college or I was going to become a race car driver. And I was actually accepted at Colorado College in Colorado Springs, so that's where I was going to go. And then I said, well, who doesn't want to drive a race car? So I said college can wait.
Colorado College isn't that fun anyway, man. Like CSU Rams, that's where it's at. I'm just saying. Your most memorable event so far in your career?
Racing event or any event?
Let's do both. Racing and most memorable career-wise.
I would say my most memorable racing event was actually back in 2004, 2005. I was racing dirt sprint cars on the West, based out of Idaho, but raced Washington, California, Northern California. And I did this big 360 sprint car winged event. It was called 360 Nationals at Auto Speedway. And it was the first time I was really with the heavy hitters of the sport. The dirt guys that were the top of the game. And we went out there and we finished 2nd in the race. And to me, that was kind of like my aha moment in racing. My most memorable event in life, my daughter's, our 4-year-old daughter, I've adopted, but she's a stepdaughter. The day that the adoption went through was actually like 2 weeks ago. That was really memorable, but the most memorable event in my life was when my son was born 4 months ago.
That is awesome. Now, what we tend to do around here is normally before we do the interviews, we open it up to social media and we ask people out online what they would like to ask of our drivers that stop by. And we have Ferrari30 from Instagram. How often does that awesome wedding ceremony play over in your mind? Does it ever hit you while you're racing? I'm pretty sure you've touched fans all over the world with the vows. Not only to Whitney K, but to Brielle. What spurred that moment on, and was that planned, or is that something that you did on the spot?
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, I got married in January 2014, so we're just over a year now. And we had a great wedding video done, and for some random reason recently, it really went viral and went crazy, and it's in the millions and millions of views. wife and I, our wedding was very special. It was a great event. It was a lot of fun to celebrate with those that we loved. And it replays in our mind a lot. You know, it's an event that as a couple, as a husband and wife, that you should hold on to, and you should always remember that joy and that emotion that you had at that moment and try to carry it with you throughout your entire marriage.
Okay, so for those of you that, has anybody not seen this video online that's going viral with him actually, his vows wife, and that Brielle is their name, right? If you guys have not seen that, please, before the weekend is out, Google that and watch that. It will touch the manliest of men's hearts out there. I even cried when I saw it. Now we have Joy. This is Joy out here. Hi, Joy. Her question is why can't you run your qualifying trim as your race trim? What does it do to the race car?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Actually, surprisingly, that's a question that I feel like fans should ask more because it is a really good question. Our qualifying trim, especially in the Sprint Cup Series, we run low fuel, we run a lot of nose weight, we run our tire pressures up because it's really just about turning one fast lap. You can't maintain that throughout the course of the run. When we do race, I'd say the main thing is tire pressure. So we get stats and we get data from Goodyear that says this tire makes maximum grip at 60 pounds of air. But when you're out there and you run 30 laps, your tires build a lot of pressure. So if maximum grip's at 60 pounds, we'll start the tires at 30 pounds, and it's not uncommon to see 20 to 30 pounds of tire pressure build. Well, you don't get that in one lap. So we'll start our pressures at 58 pounds. So after a couple corners, maybe they're at 60 pounds and they're at maximum grip. And then when qualifying's done, we can let the tires back down. That's the main thing, and you're going so much faster for one lap that you can change your gear a little bit. And when you go fast for one lap, your setup changes to accommodate just that one lap, as opposed to accommodating 40 laps, especially at a place like this where the tires are going to fall off like over 2 seconds. That's a big change, and that's going to be a big variance in what you want in the car.
They would also like to know if you're involved in any charitable events.
Yeah, so charity is a huge part of my life. We have a family foundation. It's called the Joan Kathleen Albertson Foundation out of Idaho. And our goal, our mission for the last 20 years has been to try to improve education in Idaho. Primarily, that's been our primary goal, but we've given a lot to community charities, the charitable organizations, the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA. Veterans have been a huge part of what we've done. And it's been really rewarding to be a part of that process.
That is awesome. Is there a website or social media contacts that the fans can go to stay in touch with you and your progress through the season, as well as for your charitable events?
Yeah, if you want to follow the Joan Kathleen Albertson Foundation, it's jcaf.org, and you can see what we're up to. And obviously, like I said, our primary focus is education. We believe that every child needs a quality education, and a big focus right now is to make awareness on how important it is to go from high school into some type of further your degree, whether it's a technical skill or college. It's really important to go on, and that's kind of our motto is go on Idaho. So for all you kids out there, go to school, go to college. It's important. Or go do what you love. If it's being a mechanic, motorcycle, do something and always further your knowledge base.
Well, you just answered my next question. So, Mr. Scott, thank you very much for hanging out with us here today. We're so glad you came by. One last question, just because we have to. This is the Vaughn's Tailgate Experience, so we need to know, what is an absolute must at your perfect tailgate situation, whether it's you're watching college ball or watching the races or pro ball, whatever it is that you do. Your must-have at your tailgate experience.
I'll say that there's a couple. You have to have a cooler with drinks and snacks. And that just, that could be juice boxes, that could be beer, that could be wine. And I think you should always have music. You should always have something that lightens the mood, that gets you ready for a fun event, that gets you upbeat. You should be listening to music that you love, and you gotta have friends. You can't have a tailgate by yourself, so you gotta have people that you love, family, friends, all there with you.
All right, ladies and gents, let's make some noise for Mr. Brian Scott here.
Thank you guys for coming out, and we're gonna put on a heck of a show.
Thank you for coming out, Brian. Appreciate you.